Hi all, this is Lynn with Paper Life, and I want to try a project with you guys. Today I'm going to be using the vintage beach kit that I have available, and I want to try, now I'm saying try because I haven't done this before. I'm sure you guys know as my default answer that I'm sure if you look on YouTube, someone else has done it. However, I haven't, and I haven't really seen it done. I want to make a kind of a little mini journal, but it's going to be using, it's going to be kind of in the shape of a matchbox cover. The idea behind this was because of my grandpa. He collect matchbook covers for some reason. I don't know why, but he did. So I'm using one of the full journaling pages, and I'm just going to cut it in half. Yep, sorry, my puppy dog decided it was time for him to get up. I'm just going to cut this in half. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to trim off this white edges. I didn't print this on the full borderless printing. Now with this kit you get both the lined and the unlined pages, and this is just kind of showing you one way that you can use that kit for something different, I guess. Plus, I mean, you could do this with anything. You could use book pages, you could use some coffee paper, whatever it is you want to do. But this was just a page that I had left over, and I want to make that kit myself. So I figured I would do something with it. So what I want to do is I want to cut my coffee paper that's in my way. I want to get 4 pages out of this, 4 pages wide. So why don't I'm going to set this to the side for a minute and cut my paper first. I didn't iron it, I didn't prep my paper in any way. All I'm doing is laying it down, maybe lining it up on these little measurements. Let's see, my first one's going to be 5.5 because that's the half mark of this paper. 5.5. Now I will say, since I didn't iron this paper or prep it in any way, these pages are not going to come out completely even cutting it this way. It's just the way it is. If you want it perfect, then prep your pages ahead of time. But I don't know if you can see this, it's off by about 1/4 of an inch. I'm not stressing it. Not stressing it, it's not all that important. So at this point my pages are 5 and just over 1/4. So let's see, how are we going to do this? Let's cut both of them down to 5 inches. Just to make it a little easier, maybe, we'll see. You guys know I don't pre-plan this stuff, right? This will be a video that you guys can watch and see how many times I mess up. I know. Isn't that fun? Okay, so we're at 5 inches wide. I want to cut these in half one more time. So we're going to be at 2.5 inches. Now I want my page, or my pages in here. I want 8 of them. So that's why I'm doing the 4. The reason I'm doing that is because this journal is going to be for my vacation. So I'm going to make a little daily log with this. So I stacked up my 4 and I'm just going to fold them in half. Try not to cut myself with my knife. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm just going to set that to the side. That was 2.5 inches wide, give or take. Yeah, 2.5 inches wide. So let's make this part our cover. Let's make it 2 3/4. Yeah, 2 3/4. That'll give us just a tiny bit of an overhang. That way, when we find out that I messed up, we'll be able to cover it up a little. So I'm going to set this piece to the side. I don't know what I'll do with it, but I'm sure I'll do something. Now, trim off a little bit on this side. When I printed it double-sided, didn't line up perfectly. Yeah, that'll need to be cut off. I mean, I guess instead of cutting it, you could just distress that edge. Probably wouldn't notice it. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so I want at least a 1/2 inch little flip up. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I want the bottom of my matchbook cover to be at least 1/2 inch. My camera is in the worst possible spot ever because I almost hit you. And of course, I have my bone folder on the other side of the table. If you have a scoreboard, by all means use it if you want to. I'm too lazy to get mine down. Go figure. I'm just going to fold that up that 1/2 inch. Now my pages are going to be about how thick are we? How thick are we on these? Let's say we're about 1/8 inch, really, about as thick as that paper is. So our paper is going to sit in like that, and then we need to flip this down. But these are going to need to be cut a little bit. So I'm just kind of eyeballing where I think I want this. Just kind of giving myself somewhat of a line to base it off of, because that is going to be my first fold. I'll give you guys measurements on this in just a second, but to be honest, I don't know what I just folded that at. Let's see. This was 1/2 inch. This one was, right here is 3 7/8 if you want to get technical. I guess you could do like 3 3/4. I'm going to put another score line. Okay, so right here is our 3 7/8. I want to go another 1/4 inch. Right here. Move that back out of my way. Take and fold that line. So now we have that kind of as a cover. Our measurement was 3 7/8 or 3/4, whatever you want to go with. I'm going to take this, and I think I'm going to cut these pages down to 3 1/2. Why not? That sounds like a good number, right? Okay, and I just grabbed a little stapler that I had. I'm sure it wasn't much. It was probably about $1. I'm going to just take these and fold them back out of my way for a minute. Kind of line up where I want my pages to be. Oh, I better distress first. Thor, you drink so loud. So I'm just using some vintage photo. And I'm just going to run it around my edges, kind of distress, cover up the white of the inside of my paper. Yes, me and the dog both think we're gonna die. The other day it was like, I think with the wind chill it was -20 or something like that. Today it's like 50 or 60 degrees and we're both running around the house hot as can be. You guys probably don't want to see me sit here and distress all of this, but too bad, that's what I'm doing. You get to watch it. I'm on a new camera, so I'm really hoping, one, we have better colors, better display, the picture quality is better. Oh, that's the word I wanted. But I'm also hoping that this thing doesn't time out on me. I will not lie, I haven't played with it yet. So I'm just folding around all my little creases. Now I'm not sure yet how I want to decorate this up. I just grabbed some little bits that I had sitting around, so I guess we will find out. So here's the cover again. I want to take my little papers. Now, since I'm stapling it there, if you didn't want to fold these in half, you could get away with not doing it there. But I did out of habit. I'm just going to take my stapler. So here's where we're sitting now. So that'll just be like that. It'll just be a little fit down in a pocket if you wanted it to be. So let's see what we're gonna do. I have an idea, but I don't know how it's gonna work yet. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I have another little piece of scrap coffee dyed paper. And I'm just going to, you don't have to do this part. I'm doing it just because I want to kind of rip my edges. And I can't ever do a straight line, so that's how I cheat. I just fold it, create a little bit of a crease on it like so. And then I can just tear down where my crease line was. It just gives it a little bit of a jagged edge. I like the way it looks. But you guys know me, do whatever it is you want to do. I'm going to try to make this where it is about the size of that little flap there. Which was about 1/2 inch. Okay, and I'm going to leave this alone for right now so I can see what other stuff we're going to put on there, and I'll come back to it. So let's see, maybe some ribbon behind here. You can't really see that. Let's not do that. I have some cheesecloth. You can see that a little. Let's see, a little lace maybe. That would be kind of cute if we put that up on the top. This little strip of paper there so that your lace is sticking up. Alright, let's do that first. I'm going to glue this little strip down. Just because I don't want to get any glue on my papers, I'm taking that little scrap piece of coffee paper, putting it right there. I'm going to use some of my Fabrifix. Well, this one's 3-in-1, but it does the same thing. I just want to have this hold quickly. Why? Because I'm impatient. Maybe. There we go. And I'm just going to put a little bit across there. Put that lid on quick, because if not, for some reason mine decides to ooze out. If you guys know a secret on that and why they ooze out, please let me know, because I don't know yet why it does it. So there's a little bit of my lace. I have a little scrap piece of eyelash trim. Like I said, I seriously don't know what I'm doing here, guys. I'm just doing it with you. So that still slides in there without getting everything caught. I'm gonna move my drink out of the way. My little idea for this was just to kind of write on it. And I just wrote daily log because that was my intention for using it. I don't know, my handwriting is not working for me today. So if you happen to not like your handwriting, you could always type something out if you wanted to. I guess I should have done that, since this just is not working at the current moment, but whatever. We're just going to roll with it, right? When it doesn't work, we just roll with it. I just made my crease again so I could rip this piece off. I want this right about there, I think. Now I don't want to use the cheesecloth, excuse me guys, because the cheesecloth and the white lace I think will just want to blend in. Sorry, I'm all up in your way. I'm just going to trim off my excess lace. The reason I stapled this, and you could sew it, you could do whatever you wanted, it just kind of reminded me of the matchbook cover that way. What do we think? What do we think? What do we think? Like that blue under there a little bit? Kind of frame up our writing, maybe? Maybe. Oh, whatever. Let's go with it. I don't know what I'm doing besides not using that glue. Let's see. What am I using now? Fabrifix. That other glue bottle's too empty. See, it always squeezes out on me. Just put a little glue on the back of here. I just want it sitting kind of half on top of that lace, so that some of it's just kind of peeking out. Now let's see. Do we like a little bit of this eyelash trim under here? No, I don't know how much I like that. But it needs something. What does it need? Oh, it needs for me to distress these edges is what it needs for me to do. So, you guys didn't yell at me. Just wanted to stress that a little bit. You definitely don't have to do that part. I just like the distressing because it ages it, plus it seems to kind of want to set it off, make it show up a little bit better. Let's see, what does that do? All right, I'm just gonna do that. I don't know. I don't know. This thing's not just magically coming together the way I wanted it to. But let's see. I mean, honestly, what's the worst we can do? Put a little dollop of glue. I'm going to go ahead and just put some on the back of here as well so I can glue it down after it's done. Take my little eyelash trim, kind of smush that on the back there. Kind of try to work it into place. You know what, I wonder, grab my little box of buttons here. I don't like that one. I said I don't like you, go away. Yeah, why not? Why not, right? I have my embroidery thread here that has an end somewhere. You know what? When all else fails, we're just going to snip an end. Now, one of the things I like doing, just to kind of give it the appearance of being sewn in, is I just take some embroidery thread, any form of thread that you might happen to have, and just kind of loop it through, make it look like it's been sewn. Just gonna tie a knot. Left over right, right over left. Do our basic square knot. If I can get my fingers to work for me. There we go. Now we have two options. We can either cut this thread off and kind of glue it down so you don't see it, or we can ball it up behind. No, and I don't like that. But anyways, you ball it up behind and then it gives you little fibers behind there. But I don't like it that way. It's why I'm not doing it that way. I'm going to put a dollop of glue back here. Push it down. There we go. I don't know, what do you guys think? It's just a cute little add-in that you can do in a journal. Hopefully don't get your page glued in there like I did. You might want to let that dry before you stick this cover in. But just like that, I feel like I want a little bit more on this cover. Here's some white cotton that I have. Well, it was like really white. What I like to do is take a little coffee dye, take a little coffee to it, then dry it. Then my favorite way to use this is actually to rip it, because it just kind of leaves a nice frayed edge. I don't know why, but I like that. I feel like if I maybe add some there. Oh, why not? Let's at least see what it's going to look like. Let's at least see what it's going to look like. The worst case scenario, we don't like it, right? So yeah, all I do is I make a little snip with the scissors and then I just tear. You kind of want to be careful with the type of material that you use for that. I've had some that does not work at all. You'll get the most uneven cut ever. It's almost worse than me trying to do it with a pair of scissors. Okay. There we go. I forgot how I was supposed to be doing that. So my objective, or what I'm thinking my objective is going to be, is just to have a little bit of that fabric sticking around the outside edge. So I'm going to take a little bit of my glue, smear it on my cover. And on my cutting mat, apparently. Okay. Drop my glue down, because we all should do that at least a couple times a day, right? Just kind of trying to work it where I want it to be. I think. Now I have little bubbles in here because I didn't lay it down flat when I first did it. I don't really care. Just trying to kind of work them down a little bit. Let's see. So there we go. What do you guys think? If you would have done the decoration here, you would have had a lot more room. I don't know why. I kind of wanted it here in the front, because it makes the cover, makes that little image cute. Little kids playing by the ocean. Alright guys, well there's my little, I don't know, my little experiment. Thank you for bearing with me while I tried to figure out what I was going to do. But I think that'll be cute in there. Because my plan is to go through and just kind of write a quick little note for each day that we are there. I know I'm not going to want to really do much journaling, but that way when I get home and I want to do some, I have reference for each day. I hope you liked that. Guys, have a great day. I'll see you later. If you're not in Paper Lifers, come join us. Okay, there'll be a link in the description, and I will add a link to the kit as well.